All right, coming at you today from the beautiful state of Tennessee. I was just watching a video on YouTube, and it was by Wrangler Star, in which he was showing an axe, a camper's axe, that he just bought from Harbor Freight for $12. He took the finish off of the handle, recovered that with linseed oil, and also refined the chopping edge, and it looked incredible. So I'm gonna go try to do the same thing. So off we go to the Harbor Freight here in Columbia, Tennessee. Wow, look at these roads, guys. This is what it's like to drive here in Tennessee. It is just back road galore. I mean, just incredible drives everywhere. Got an old barn here coming up on the left. How cool is that? Looks like we made it. Well, that turned out to be a major bust. I went in there and they were completely sold out of that hickory handled axe. They of course had all the plastic ones or fiberglass, or I don't know what material they are, but the hickory handled ones were completely sold out. I'm assuming that is directly related to Wrangler Star's viral video. It's only been up for a few days now and it's got over 1 million views. So probably everybody like me went out to their local Harbor Freight and bought that hickory handled camper's axe. So I'll just have to wait till they get them in stock. I did make a post about it on my Instagram. You can check it out at One Road Garage. I call out Wrangler Star and thank him for having Harbor Freight sell out of these hickory handled axes. Of course, all in good fun. The good news is I was able to find an axe. This is called the Collins axe. It looks like the hickory handle is US sourced hickory, but the whole axe, I believe, is made in Mexico, or maybe it's just the top here. But one thing I can tell, unlike the Wrangler Star Harbor Freight axe, the profile of this axe seems much, much better. It does also have this rubber sheath here, so we'll take that off and we'll look at the profile of this thing. And you can see that looks really good, like really good. Also, if you take a look at the handle, the profile on the end there seems perfect. So I think what I'm gonna do is take this home and do exactly what Wrangler Star did, which was strip off all of the varnish that's on the handle here and see if we can't recoat it with linseed oil and make it seem and feel and look just as nice as the one that he did. All right, so here's the Collins axe, and what I'm gonna try to do is exactly what Cody did, which was to take all of this varnish off of the hickory handle, and then we're gonna put our own finish on there. In my case, it's gonna be tung oil. I don't have any boiled linseed oil, so we're just gonna have to use tung oil, but I'm sure it'll turn out just the same. So in Cody's video, he said to take the sharpest knife you have. In my case, it's just gonna be my buck. And all I'm gonna do is press the handle up against my leg here and then just take the blade, just like he did, and try to scrape off some of this finish with a 90-degree angle on the blade. Oh yeah. Wow, that's working out really well. Okay. You can kind of angle the blade to get the contours of the handle there. Now I don't have a vise just yet. I just moved in here, so my vise is actually stored away. And already I can see that this is turning out to be quite nice. I'm gonna keep working at this. This isn't taking very long. It's kind of hard to see where the varnish ends and the wood begins, so I'm actually using my ear. You can kind of hear the difference when you get a good string of varnish that you're scraping off. Kind of more of like a high-pitched, gritty sound. Just like that. Now here's what it sounds like on just the bare wood. It's a lot more smooth of a sound, and then back to the varnish. Definitely is a difference. Now he did pay extra close attention to the end here, talking about where the wood grain is and how that actually is where all the nutrients from the oils get sucked up. Well, look at that. Wow. That is a pure hickory handle. Turning it over in the light, I can see where I might have missed a little spot here and there, which isn't that big of a deal, I wouldn't imagine. Took me a little bit longer than Cody. I'm not used to this, but wasn't bad at all. All right, so the other thing I have to deal with is these stickers. I'm just gonna take a dull blade here and try to get underneath that. Yeah, these stickers are pretty wet, so it seems to be coming off pretty easily here. I really can't stand stickers like this, because now we have all this residue, sticky residue that I'm gonna have to get off. And of course, there's the main branding sticker here. Let's see how this one comes off. This one seems to be a little bit different of a material. I was gonna say, sometimes you can rip these off and get this sticky stuff to come with it. It did for a second there. A little bit is. Okay, so in order to get off this sticky sticker stuff, I'm using an alcohol swab, and that's just to try to dissolve this sticky stuff. And it seems like it's doing a pretty good job here. Rubbing it on there pretty good, and it's really dissolving this stuff, and the swab here is grabbing it all. Then I'm gonna come back with my shop towel here and see what kind of damage we did. A little bit more there. Let's go ahead and wipe that down. Yeah, that's all gone. So that looks mighty nice on that side, I have to say. All right, so we are looking so far at a really nice axe here. We have no more stickers on this thing. It is nice and clean. The only thing that I have to do now is to get this top where the wedge is sanded down. I'm not sure that I really care about sanding that down, but I have some 400 sandpaper here. Might as well give it a shot. I did try to remove some of the finish off of the top here, and I wasn't able to do it. I don't have coarse enough sandpaper, so I'm just gonna go ahead and leave that. It did give the axe a kind of worn in look, which is kind of funny, but I'm gonna go ahead and start the process of refinishing this hickory handle. I'll be using tung oil, so I'm just gonna go ahead and pour some of the tung oil on a rag here, and we will just start wiping it in to the wood grain. You definitely want it to get into that bottom grain there. Might as well put a little bit on the top here, just because I did sand a little bit of this stuff off of there. Also trying to get it up in the top here where it meets the axe head. I didn't feel like I was getting too much on there with that rag, so I just dumped it on. So that is a really good first coat. I could come back and put another coat on if I so desired, but that looks like it's a pretty good job there. All right, well, here it is, guys. I think this thing turned out magnificently. This thing looks great. It's, I'm sure, going to perform wonderfully, and we have a nice tung oil finish on the hickory handle. And you can see the headstock there. It does have some tung oil on it. I have to clean that off. And you can see that circular wedge there, which is just like that Harbor Freight axe that Cody was showing off. But overall, compared to that Harbor Freight axe, and again, I want to preface this by saying I don't have a whole heck of a lot of experience with axes, basically close to none. So I just want to say this is just a kind of common sense sort of review. And I would say that this seems to be a much better axe than that Harbor Freight axe. The shape of the handle here seems really nice. So, you know, it's curved a little bit at the bottom. Your hand's not gonna, you know, it's not gonna fly out of your hand. And the head on that definitely has a nice thin profile in the front, a good wedge there at the top to split wood easier. So it is definitely a good looking axe, and I think it'd be great for the camper and for me. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. If you did, please feel free to hit that thumbs up. Actually, please hit that thumbs up. It really helps the video, it really helps the channel. And if you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. I'm Jimmy, the channel is One Road, and today we took a look at a camper's axe. Not exactly the one I set out to get, but I think I found one that was even better. And while the Harbor Freight axe was only $12, this one was double the price at $24. That's out the door. And just from that footage that I've seen of the Harbor Freight axe, this one does seem to be made better. The profile on the head seems to be better, as well as the profile on this hickory handle. And by the way, this hickory handle is American hickory. We retooled the wood, put our own tung oil finish. I'll probably put another coat on there and let it dry completely. But overall, I feel like this axe is going to be great. Now to set off on a camping trip where I actually get to use this thing. That's coming up. Again, I'm Jimmy, the channel is One Road, and I will see you in the next one.